Well, the wait is over, guys. The patch notes are out, and now we can really see what is gonna be getting nerfed and what's getting buffed. More importantly, how the cards are getting nerfed and buffed, because we already knew who was getting hit. But yeah, in this video I'm gonna go over all of the buffs and nerfs and talk about what I think that might mean for the meta. You can check out my new top 5 video about decks that are not getting nerfed today, so you have a good idea and a good starting point of what you might want to be playing today to climb some easy ranks. Hope you enjoy the content, and if you do, a like and a subscribe would really help, and don't forget you can have some Hearthstone coaching. Now, let's check out the patch.
You are not prepared!
Okay, thanks to Blizz, we get these a little bit earlier, so we can do these videos in a timely fashion. And yeah, Hearthstone update. It's releasing today, in probably 45 minutes after this video goes live. Dev comment, this is our last round of changes before the holiday break, so we're aiming to keep this patch smaller and lower risk. The mini set is also coming in the not so distant future, and we expect it to do a good job of shaking things up in its own right. Our goal with this patch was to hit the biggest outliers per usual, considering both play experience and balance. The following cards are being adjusted to be weaker. Starting off with Sonya, which definitely dodged a lot of nerfs for way too long. And here we can see she's not getting bumped in mana, but the only difference is she's no longer going to be giving you 0 copies of 1 mana cards, but it's only going to be working for 1 mana minions. Which definitely is good. We're no longer going to be copying things like Grift the Potions. We're not going to be copying the 1 mana bounce for Rogue. So all around this is going to be shaking up the Rogue meta for sure, but I don't think it's going to be enough to really stop some of the more toxic OP Rogue decks in Top Legend, including things like Cyclo Rogue, Spellburst Rogue never really used Sonya at all, and it is quite the funky deck to be playing against, but yeah, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see how that one pans out. Dev comment here is, we've seen this happen many times before, a rogue card or deck that isn't overly powerful outside of very high level play, but which is a problem for Top Legend. Sonya has been a focal point in Rogue for a while, and the recent play patterns have leaned more into frustrating than fun. This change maintains the spirit of the card while removing a lot of its more potent combo potential. So yeah, like I said, I do believe Rogue is still gonna be pretty top tier in Top Legend, but yeah, I guess this does limit somewhat the really big pop-ups they could be doing after you've actually somewhat stabilized the mid-game. We also have Sigil of Skydiving, which is a nerf both to Demon Hunters and Shamans alike. And this is only going to be summoning 2 1/1 Pirates from here on out, which definitely does limit the amount of burst you could be doing with this thing. Even if you stack a couple of them, it's barely going to be as close to what it used to be. You're no longer going to be able to do some massive Bloodlust turns. But I do believe it's still going to be a card that a lot of the Shaman decks will like to be running, mainly because these are still pirates, and you pay the 2 mana up front, and you can still follow up with a good Hosen to buff him up and whatnot. So yeah, I do believe the nerf is gonna lower the win rate of the Shaman class and the Demon Hunter class, but all around I think both the decks will be surviving this one. The dev comment here is, aggressive decks are getting toned down across the board with Zilliax, but Shaman is a particular standout that we wanted to further adjust. This change, funny how they're talking about Shaman and this is literally a Demon Hunter card, but still. This change tones down both its burst potential and its ability to build big boards early in the game, both of which Shaman is better at using this card to do than Demon Hunter. I mean, are we gonna pretend that Pirate Demon Hunter is also not a super strong competitive deck? Like, come on, Liz. Even though it is a Demon Hunter card, we adjusted this card instead of a Shaman only card because it's the best individual target to accomplish our goals across a swath of Shaman decks. And yeah, I definitely believe this card was a little bit too strong for too long. And this is quite a drastic nerf. Like, this is not a one attack decrease, 1 health decrease kind of deal. This is literally making the card 33% worse. Both in potential burst damage and in total bodies on the board, so it's quite the fat nerf to the card, but I think it's still gonna remain playable for most Shaman and Demon Hunter decks at least. We also have Zilliax getting nerfed. I don't know why this thing skipped all the way down to the Sigil. Yeah, it's kind of wonky like that, but yeah, the Zilliax nerf here is gonna be that the Pylon module is only gonna be giving attack from here on out and no longer health, which is honestly a huge change. Like, a lot of the times you were playing this thing mostly because you want to get the health so you get out of range for some big removals. And with this only giving attack, it's still going to be a pretty good Zilliax. to be including in tokeny decks, but let's face it, this is gonna hurt the board survivability big time, and it is definitely gonna be toning down the win rate. And honestly, I feel this is the bigger nerf out of the two for the Shamans and the Demon Hunters, because this thing literally was able to win games on turn 3. Whereas now, only getting that extra bit of chip damage, sure, it's not bad, but not getting the extra health is hurting big time. Def comment here is, congratulations, Zilliax is the most nerfed card in history. I mean, that was true a couple of nerfs ago, but what do we know? To be fair, it's also a bunch of cards in one. But to be real, we might need to nerf it again at some point. I mean, you still need to nerf it. Let's not pretend that Zilliax is not one of the most toxic things in the world you could be playing in Hearthstone. This change should still let Pylon Module remain a relevant piece for aggro decks, but makes it easier to get back into a game against an early Zilliax board. And yeah, both of these nerfs combined definitely are gonna shave a good chunk of the win rate for both Shamans and Demon Hunters. And this thing was super OP in Hunters as well. Honestly, Hunter has taken a huge hit because of this, because one of the hardest things to deal against Discover Hunter would have been them discovering double Zilliax and playing them around turn 4, turn 5. There's not many things that can deal with +2/+2 that early, and this is gonna be a fat nerf to the Discover Hunter too. But yeah, all around, it is one of the better cards enabling super big aggro tempo plays, so I'm not against this change as well. And if this were the only nerfs, this would have been scary, because Dungar Druid was a very OP deck to be playing against, and the only things that really dealt well with it was hyper aggro. And with both of these cards being part of Hyper Aggro, if Dungar Druid did not take a hit, we would have been in a very scary Dungar Druid meta. And Crystal Cluster is going to be a 7-mana card now. Honestly, I really feel that they should have just nerfed Dungar instead, because that was the main reason why Dungar Druid was so strong. It's in the name, guys. It wasn't so hard to freaking nerf it. But yeah, 7-mana Crystal Cluster is going to slow down the Dungar turn by a turn. And it is going to be a lot harder for them to actually be able to stabilize fast enough before aggressive decks actually topple them over. Def comment here is, Druid has received a variety of ways to ramp in recent sets because that's a core part of the class identity. But this card allows Druid to ramp the Travel Master Dungar faster and more consistently than we'd like. We're adjusting this card instead of Dungar directly because this is an overperforming card in the deck even outside of Dungar. And this change will have a slightly larger impact on the deck as a whole than increasing Dungar's mana to 10 wood. Are you guys fucking kidding right now? Are you literally making me pull stats for you right now? Like come on, Blizz, are we really gonna pull this BS right in front of our stats? Really? Right in front of your mother? What are these stats we're talking about, guys? So what are these freaking stats we're talking about where Crystal Cluster is an overperforming card? Hold my Dungar till I scroll all the way down till we see something other than a fucking Dungar Druid that actually matters here. Tom Druid, 200 games, 56% win rate. Wow. Damn, those are some massive stats, guys. Hold up, let's scroll to something actually irrelevant with enough stats. What is this other thing than Dungar Druid with relevant stats, guys? Hold the phone. Give me a minute here, guys. Hold the fuck up. 500 games, okay. Where's the overperforming? Drawn win rate, middle of the barrel. Mulligan win rate, okay, I get it, kinda. But are we really gonna sit here and pretend that Crystal Cluster is the real issue here? Are we really nerfing Crystal Cluster because it's overperforming in a 52% win rate deck? Come on, guys, let's be real here. Dungar Druid. Kept rate, 5th most kept. Mulligan win rate, sure, 2nd best. After Dungar, of course, with unhealthy 7% above. Like, are we really gonna be sitting here lying that this is the reason why we're nerfing this? I just... No. You guys are just lying to us here. Like, what is this? We have eyes, we have brains, we can think. It was obviously Dungar up to 10 mana or Dungar summon only 2 idiots. It was never Crystal Cluster. Like, what is this overperforming we're talking about? If this was before the nerf to the... not the nerf, the murder of a freaking spell damage Avalonia's Druid, okay. I can get behind that, sure. That deck was performing. But if we're gonna sit here and pretend that this is the correct choice in this particular case, I mean, come on. Maybe they know something we don't know. Maybe the new mini set is gonna break Druid even further, and that's the real reason here, but say that then. Like, this is far from, quote, this card allows Druid to ramp travel. Like, this is far from, quote, we're adjusting this card instead of Dungar directly, because this is an overperforming card in the deck, even outside of Dungar. Like, what is this deck? Is this deck in the room with us right now? Come on, Blizz. Enough rant, but come on. Seriously. So, yeah, that's about it for standards. You can check out my new top 5 decks that are not getting nerfs, so you can get a good idea of what you might want to be playing after these nerfs go live. And the shitty part here is it's only a couple of commons and a Zilliax that you still don't want to be disenchanting, as well as Sonya, which I guess you could disenchant if you don't care about her. And you could be playing rogues without Sonya as well. But yeah, it's not exactly a bag of dust we're receiving here. If you want to be disenchanting all of these cards, you can write refund into your collection. That's gonna list all of the cards you get full dust refund for, and that's only for a nerfed card, guys. Like, let's not pretend buffed cards give you the luxury of getting extra dust for them. Like, in what world does that make any sense? Like, you got a better cards, here, get extra dust for it as well. That's not how the real world works. But yeah, if you're not going to be playing these cards literally right now, might as well disenchant them and get that dust. You have 2 weeks to get the full dust refund for those. And that goes for Darkglare and the Seed as well. But first, let's see what the buff is, the Talgath. And yeah, no surprises here. From a 4-mana 4/4, he's becoming a 3-mana 3/3. Same effect, same everything. I'm not sure we're going to see too much play out of this guy. Maybe it's going to feel fine in something like a Starship Rogue. But all-around Rogue doesn't have time for things that don't literally win them the games. Who has time for a 3-mana 3/3 do-nothing proactive? They're just gonna use Starslick Phantom Knives as they really need that extra double damage and whatnot. So yeah, def comment here. With the mini set in the not-too-distant future, we weren't looking to make many buffs this patch. However, Talgath has been an especially underwhelming card since launch, and with Rogue getting hit in this patch, we thought this was a fine time to give it a bit of boost as well. I mean, too little if we gotta be honest. I'm not sure this is gonna do all that much, but sure, why not? Moving back to the nerfs for Wild, Darkglare is gonna have a new battle cry. If your hero took damage this turn, refresh 3 mana crystals. Oh damn, boy, that's literally unplayable. Like, thanks for the 400 dust, I guess, but damn, that is literally unplayable. Make it 4 mana, 5 mana, something, but this is literally deleting the card. Nobody in their right mind is going to be playing this anymore. Like, tempo 3/4, yay. It's no longer going to be a part of the Demon Seed deck. And speaking of the Demon Seeds, the new nerf would be 12 damage per quest stage instead of 10. Demon Seed has had its ups and downs in Wild since its release. Our balanced philosophy for Wild is that we generally step in when a deck is too powerful, too strong, and too frustrating to play against. So what are you gonna do about Hostage Mage? Yeah, I thought so. Questline Warlock is currently the most popular deck in the format and has one of the highest win rates. It has always been one of the most polarizing cards in the game. So we're double tapping it here. Darkglare is the most egregious part of the deck, allowing for huge boards and consistent quests completion earlier than we'd like. So it's getting hit hardest. We're also ramping up the questline requirements to adjust the non-Darkglare version of the deck. I mean, kinda deleted it. Kinda deleted there. Darkglare for sure is not gonna see any more play in a deck like this, and the questline still probably playable, but not as much obviously, but yeah. Wild be wildin'. We also have some Battleground updates. We don't usually look over those. We can scroll all the way down so we see if we're missing anything spicy at the bottom. But it does seem like it's Battleground till the end. Arena updates. We're making a couple of arena micro adjustments to reduce the power of Death Knight this season. Horizon's Edge can no longer be drafted. Was that the 8-mana thing? Oh, it's the location, damn. Okay, that's kinda drastic. And travel security will be offered significantly less frequently while drafting. That was the Taunty boy, right? Yeah, this thing. Yeah, I get it. It's definitely looking like quite the strong arena card. We also have some bug fixes. Nothing for standard, so yeah. So yeah, those are gonna be the nerfs and the buff. Do let me know in the comments what you guys think about these. Do you think they were enough? Do you think they're not enough? Personally, I feel Ethereal definitely should have also been on this list. What was wrong with making it a 4-mana 2/4? I don't know, you tell me. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and if you did, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget you can hire for some Hearthstone coaching. Thanks for watching. I'm Kris05, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.